Alright, so here we are on Daybreak, ladies and gentlemen. At the top right-hand corner, we have our Green Terran player, ReIGN.artist, who did just take out Clyde, his opponent down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Sporting the tag Zerg, it's actually our Red Protoss player, Puzzle. He is from Team SlayerS, and the map is Daybreak, of course, my oh-so-favorite map. I gush every time this comes up. I love it.
It's a pretty cool map.
Yes.
I'll give it that.
Okay.
Puzzle playing as Zerg. We have seen Zerg as all three races throughout these Team Arena challenges. So
yes, we have.
Thanks to whoever owns that account for letting SlayerS use it. Yeah, this game should be a good one. Artist TVP, his TVP is actually a little bit stronger than his TVT, which he just displayed against Clyde. So we'll see if ghosts make an appearance here. We'll see if lots of medevacs end up trying to keep Puzzle stretched all over the map, or what. I have no idea what he's going to do.
Yeah, definitely. And the real question is, what is Artist going to do? Because Artist is a player who's built around timings and all-ins and stuff like that. And this is a map where, yes, you will initially do some damage off of one base or two base or something like that, but if you don't outright kill your opponent, it's very easy for games to go into very long macro scenarios here, and that's the type of play that Artist can play, but usually prefers to kill his opponents quicker than that.
The things I said were Artist also.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah,
okay, so the real question, though, is what is Artist? Like, Puzzle, we assume he's going to build things.
But really, what is Artist going to do? That's the real question here.
I feel like I don't know what Artist is doing.
Yes.
He's building a barracks.
But what is Artist going to do?
What is Artist doing?
All right, okay.
Put the emphasis on each word?
Yes, you've what is Artist doing?
All right, so we've done enough John Madden impersonations for one game.
If Artist kills more buildings, he's going to win this game.
He might win, or he might lose.
It's got to go down one of those two paths.
You know, he really wants to win, but he could lose. All right, Puzzle building a pylon out in front of his Nexus at the Natural.
Yes.
Are we going to see a Forge? He's already got a Gateway started, so Forge after Gateway is a little bit unconventional, let's say.
And we know what Artist is going to do. It's a one-ranks gasless FE. And
duh.
Not a map.
I was saying that the whole time.
Not a bad map to do that. As one bunker at the front, you do defend that whole position right through there. And so both players are going to have a nice solid economy to work off of for quite a while. This is interesting building positioning for Puzzle. It just is odd. It doesn't help defend against stuff that's actually back inside of his main. It does create some sort of I guess a log at the front whenever units are trying to run in and stream around the structures. It's just not a building positioning I see a whole lot of.
Yeah, both of these pylons are actually incredibly prone to attack as well. So just unpowering of structure. Man, that probe gave it his all.
I will not go down without a fight. That's actually, I guess, not a bad. If you know your probe's going to die, if you know you're not going to get any other scouting from it,
get a couple of zaps off, I guess. But
suppose so.
We have a Stalker coming out now for Puzzle. Artist is killing the destructible supply depot. I thought for a second that the SCV was just walking into gunfire.
I did too, and it looked like the SCV was going to start attacking the ring.
Shot in the face.
Anyway, Bunker coming down now, back on Puzzle side of things. 2 gas, no third quite yet. So he's not showing like insanely quick, really high tech or anything along those lines. Unfortunately, he is supply blocked though.
He is supply blocked. He's got only 2 pylons in weird spots. The third one is actually between his 2 bases, so everything's just kind of puzzling.
Oh, I see what you did there. But really, what is Artist doing right now?
I don't know. What's Artist doing? He's got concussive shells coming up and a Marauder.
Yes,
this is the same thing Clyde did against Kiwi Kaki. Go for that concussive shell really quickly. Then you can follow up with stim and combat shields, things like that. I'm expecting to see a factory next since he does have 3 racks already up.
Yes. This is a very select-ish build. 3 racks into double gas. Now it just quit being a select-ish build because he would have gone right into medevacs here. But we do see a 4th rack thrown down from Artist.
Lots and lots of bio.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to skip factory altogether, I think, in this matchup, just based on that 4th barracks. Head straight to medevacs afterwards, but looks like some scouting was denied there by Puzzle. Just a couple of sentries. He does have something up at the front of Artist Natural. What?
Oh, the Stalker?
Oh, just a single Stalker keeping tabs on things. All right.
Yep. But as soon as Concussive Shell finishes, or as soon as Artist realizes that, he can actually send out a lone Marauder to put apart that Stalker. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. And Puzzle can't be too happy about that, as his Stalker does go down.
Indeed. Another barracks. Actually, is that the 4th barracks still finishing up? I think that is. All right.
Just finishing up.
Where's your factory? Get some medevacs.
No, none of the medevacs. just kill with all bio.
There's a facility already finished now for Puzzle. He's making that first observer.
We're going to be really late to medevacs as there's an engineering bay coming up. And yes, you are absolutely correct, as a robotics facility did finish up.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see a bay quickly or Twilight Council. I'm assuming bay just because he hasn't really started upgrades or anything like that. There is a single Immortal being built right now. He does have the money to go ahead and get that bay. I'm not sure what he's thinking so far long term.
Double forge.
All right.
Okay. Very close to the builds that we saw out of oh boy, the Protoss players for it was on Terminus. It was and Dream. There we go.
Versus Dream.
Yeah. Well, we had it was the mouse Protoss players, wasn't it?
Oh.
Or I'm sorry, not Mouse, but Dignitas. I'm sorry. The Dignitas Protoss players, Dream and Bishu, decided to go after almost exactly this build. Sorry, guys, had to think through that. I knew I'd seen these before, but this is super, super, super close to the builds that we saw out of both Bishu and Dream against Terran players.
Interesting. Well, he is starting both of those upgrades. He's getting the Twilight Council. I was going to say earlier that I didn't think he was going to get the Twilight Council just because he didn't have a forge yet, but now he's basically switched gears away from the robotic stuff towards more Tier 1 and Immortal upgrades. Blink actually being researched now as well, and then Starport is finally coming around near the 10-minute mark here.
And we do have pylons being buried down for Puzzle, but this is the very definition of an Artosis pylon right there. Throw in a couple more structures, probe, and you've got yourself a deal.
You can fill all that blue space there. There's plenty of power grid available.
He should. All right, and looks like he is well prepared for some drops coming in, but of course, with that observer, he sees that the first couple of medevacs are just now coming up.
He's got a string of pylons along the bottom right side of the map. That's kind of interesting.
Yes, indeed.
He can watch for drops very easily with that and also secure future expansions just by being able to warp in there. But he is taking a third at the far left expansion now instead, and Artist does not have another command center built. He is going to try and tech in several directions at once with a Ghost Academy and an Armory both coming up now, as well as +1/+1 upgrades. So both players working on those double upgrades. Soon Puzzle will be working on 2-2, and he has that base started. Artist with a nice scan there, moving forward out of his base. He does have a factory flying around, checking out this third location. He's not going to find anything there, of course, but eventually he'll get into the main and give himself a good idea of what to expect as he presses in.
All right, and Artist in very conventional Artist style. Seems like he wants to do a lot of damage off of two bases before he thinks about expanding, and that third command center is coming down, but of course it's quite a bit later than Puzzles is at the moment. And that factory is floating overhead, Automaton keeping tabs on it, but map control for both players is pretty decent so far with that forward factory and units at the Zelnaga Towers, and then conversely for Puzzle with all of the pylons and probes that he has scattered across the map.
Oh, good positioning by Puzzle at the Zelnaga Tower. He's going to see a few Marines scurrying in toward the tower, but he's going to miss the bulk of Artist forces coming down the right side of the map, and also he is going to skirt those pylons, so Puzzle's not going to have any vision of this until perhaps it's too late, but Artist actually doesn't have a target in mind. There's no base there to kill.
Yes. I'm a little bit surprised, I suppose. I would have figured Artist would have tried to initially test the waters, but I guess he just wants these ghosts to be added in first as he is starting to retreat back home. Both players' macro is pretty good at the moment. But of course, that third base for Artist is just now getting started, whereas Puzzles is actually saturated at the moment, and he's on 77 workers.
Let's look at the actual income tab and see what that kind of looks like right now. Puzzle is way ahead on minerals. Just having 20 extra harvesters makes up for mule differences. And wow, Artist finds a nice hidden pylon there. He's going to continue maybe along the bottom path. No, he's just going to stop this probe from building anything. Dang it. Just barely missed that. SCV should be able to take it down.
Yeah, it takes a little while though. So
and he's coming back with the rest of his forces, so it'll be taken care of shortly.
Still annoying.
Ghosts do already have their Mobius reactor upgrades, so they're going to be starting to pop out with lots of energy here if he continues to create them. It looks like he is. +2 weapons are on the way. Well, is that 3-3 coming up already?
Yes, it is.
Wow,
As a matter of fact,
3-3
that's what
for
this build
Puzzle.
was designed to do. And Dream and Bishu, unfortunately, were just being outright assaulted.
During all of this?
Yeah, exactly. Before this was ever able to develop for them.
So Artist is going to find himself a little bit behind in upgrades if he lingers too long. It looks like Puzzle has started producing a lot of Colossi. I don't think Artist actually has too many Vikings up, as he did actually have to invest.
Okay, he does have 3.
A third one just popped out, but he invested the star part early into Medivacs, of course, with so much bio. You'd be silly not to. He does have +3 weapons coming along now. He's not going to be incredibly far behind. There's going to be a narrow window where Puzzle's just building a pylon out in the open there. Going to lose the probe and the pylon. But Artist has been patrolling the right side of this map for so long now. His Marines and Marauders have to be a little bit tired.
All right.
No cancel. All right.
A little bit shocked that that was allowed to continue, but these pylons across the map are going to start going down. Nice little gain there for Artist.
Oh, no.
Boom! Charge lot coming in. Does have 2-2, and there's the stim, and even a 2-2 charge lot's going to go down pretty quickly to 4 Marines there.
Man, he just dunked on that Marine. He's like, I see you. Bam!
Boosh! Let's see here, though. A very, very passive game thus
Archons.
far. Yeah, and a lot of them, but...
And 6 more gateways.
Does have a few ghosts in there now. They're on very high energy. Are there any Templar that are not Archons? Okay, 2 of them at the moment.
I think he's probably going to combine them. I haven't seen Storm researched yet.
Feedback, possibly, though, for a little while.
Yeah, feedback could be nice, and then, of course, you can turn them into Archons afterwards. But here we go. Oh, Artist did not want to lose anything there. Not keeping his forces as a cohesive unit. He's going to be forced to back off. He does have a lot of ghosts in the mixture now. He's just been making one at a time, but he should have quite a few of them at this point.
Surprised that there's no +1 weapons up quite yet for that air, though, as that does double duty as an upgrade because of the multiple attacks.
That's true.
As it stands, Puzzle is expanding to his 4th. Artist once again doing that, but quite a bit behind his opponent. A little bit closer this go-round, though. Both players are maxed in banking resources. Economic rates are pretty close because of the mules, even though there's a 14 worker deficit for Artist. So he actually does have a much larger army in terms of overall supply, but I have to say that Mr. Puzzle does actually have an incredibly cost-efficient army and very strong army. Go
He's got
power
Blink.
SCVs.
No! Stalker!
Shh. More units. Oh, God, he really, really wants these pylons to go up over on the right-hand side.
Well, he's got 100 gateways. Of course he wants pylons all over the place. And that Stalker
all on.
does
Oh, my
find-
God.
Oh, jeez, that is...
Look at this!
Whoa!
If he drops in and takes
Oh,
out
my
these
goodness.
2 pylons, he wins the game.
One medevac drop could just cripple Puzzle briefly, but it's really not even the big picture here, because yes, there are a lot of ghosts for Artists, but there's so much splash damage with these Colossi and Archons now for Puzzle, and these Stalkers can just take hits and then blink back. So we'll see what actually happens. EMP just do splash on the Archons. It looks like one got taken down to no shields, but the other one still surviving.
And it looks like Puzzle's just going to pull back for the moment, as both our players are maxed out and accumulating gigantic amounts of resources. Puzzle putting up his 5th, though. Nice decision. He is, of course, out of upgrades to research, so he's moving on to shields. Because the weapons and armor is finished at the moment. This poor hurt zealot running away for its life.
Artist is just getting poised now. All the ghosts going first. They are going to get fried, but they do drop a good number of EMPs first. The Vikings finding their targets very quickly here. Those Colossi are going to go down one at a time, but man, it looks like the damage has already been done. All these charge lots taking so many hits, and the Blink Stalkers just going wherever they please.
Yeah,
There's still a couple of Archons standing. The Vikings are entirely gone. He killed all those Vikings.
When you have to land against Immortals, it's not a pretty sight, because Vikings are armored. They do virtually no damage on the ground. They're just there to buffer whenever you've taken out all of the... Holy God! Holy God!
That's a lot of High Templar at one time. That's what happens when you bank resources and you have 15 gateways and 5 bases.
What?
You can just spam High Templar and make Archons.
Voice got HD high there.
This actually looks very scary for Artist. There's no way he can remax on all those ghosts fast enough for Vikings. There's a couple just walking into their death. GG from Artist very quickly.
God.
That encounter was redonkulous.
Wow, I'm struggling to think of what Artist could have done better right there to just make his way into it. He attacked before +1 weapons finished, yes, but killing those Colossi 2 seconds earlier wouldn't have made the critical difference necessary to overwhelm that Gateway army. Holy crap.
Too much splash, too fast. The Vikings could not get the Colossi down fast enough.
I apologize.
And all the ghosts.
I just want to look at that one more time. Hold on. We're gonna look at this warp in here. Nope, I just missed it by about a few seconds.
Oh god, we'll never hit it now.
Yep, I don't care. Here it comes.
Ooh.
That's just silly.
And 4 zealots. Why
Yeah.
not?
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So that is the end of that game. We are going to head to the next game. It looks like ReIGN is going to throw in Inori next. We'll move to that game in just a second.
수상장